And I'm not a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
I don't support it here. I can't support it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And especially if you lose your dad, and now you have to see it all over the internet.
Oh my God,
all over the news. And it's the only
Yeah.
thing your friends want to talk about because they know your dad was Brian Thompson, winner of the most basic name award of your 50 years straight.
It's always CEO names, man. It's never something like wild and trippy and fun.
It really is. But that joke right there, and just the giggle that I got, is exactly why I have conflict. That's my conflicting emotion. Is like,
It's valid.
part of me just really wants to give in and say good. But I can't. I can't because I can't support that level of violence. I didn't support it when the attempts were taken at Trump, and I'm not a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
I don't support it here. I can't support it.
Yeah.
But I get it.
That's the key thing. Like, it's understandable. That's what's kind of messed up. And like, I know for a fact he has a wife. She made a statement saying that like he was a very generous person, at least in their circles. But also, let me just grab a little snippet off of Wikipedia here. In July 2024, the Wall Street Journal concluded that United Health was the worst offender among private insurers who made dubious diagnoses in their clients in order to trigger larger payments from the government's Medicare Advantage program. The patients often did not receive any treatment for those insurer-added diagnoses. The report, based on Medicare data obtained from the federal government under a research agreement, calculated that the diagnoses added by United Health for disease patients had never been treated, had yielded $8.7 billion in payments to the company in 2021 alone, over half of its net income of $17 billion for that year. So now we start to see a little bit of the behind the scenes, and like on two fronts. One, that looks like some sketchy stuff the company was doing. I don't know if he was directly involved, but when you're at the head of a company, you're responsible for it. But also, all these people didn't get their treatments. And that's where like the conspiracy theory, like you're saying, it could have been the guy was laid off. And like, it's really hard to get a job right now. The economy's horrible. People are terrified. He could feel like his life is over. Or there's a lot of speculation that he could have lost a loved one because insurance was denied. Or it could be something along the lines of his own stuff was denied. And if you have 5 months to live and it's just because a company shot you down,
why not take him with you, especially if you know where he's going to be?
Yeah. It's a
private insurance companies are kind of part of the problem, though, right? Like,
yeah.
If private insurance companies didn't exist, first of all, we wouldn't have insurance. So we have to just recognize that we don't have socialized insurance. So this is what we have to work with.
Yeah.
And because they are such a big lobbying force, they're bigger than pharma. They are the motherfuckers making the decisions to stop them and BlackRock, who, by the way, owns United Healthcare.
Wait, fucking really?
Yep. Vanguard and BlackRock are the two biggest shareholders of United Healthcare. Dude, I swear, it always comes back to BlackRock. If I get 6 or 7 layers into a topic, BlackRock.
Is this like, you know, that old Wikipedia challenge, like go through 7 articles and you'll somehow end up on an article about Jesus? Yeah. It's
you know what? I did that. I wound up on an article about Mormonism.
Well, Jesus adjacent.
Latter-day Saints.
I enjoy training for combat and stuff like that, but I use foam weapons. I'm not an inherently violent person. I don't like the idea of hurting someone accidentally. It's like, murder's fucked up. But at the same time, I have this moral quandary in me of, at what point does he become responsible for the lives lost under his policies, where he is cutting costs and turning down coverage to save money for the shareholders? At what point does it become murder as well? There are arguably tens of thousands of lives that bare minimum were made worse, let alone how many people may have died. Case in point, Status Quo News, I do like that, covers a interview where, and I quote, "He was late paying his Medicare plan, so they cut him off his medication. He then drove his truck into the Mohawk River after giving us a suicide note," a father told Jordan Chariton in 2023, shedding light on why events like the killing of the United Healthcare CEO happened. That man died because a soulless entity told him that his life didn't seem to matter, and he took it literally. And that's another person with family and people who loved him. This CEO was probably generous to his circle, but he was very generous to the shareholders. Let's just put it that way.